In the cutthroat arena of pro sports, the sudden appearance of a once-in-a-generation talent does far more than just spike TV ratings or juice up corporate sponsorships. It violently rewrites the survival guide for every single name currently sitting on the roster. When a dynamo like Caitlin Clark walks into an organization, she completely destroys the existing blueprint for floor spacing, lung capacity, and the precise biomechanics required to simply stay on the floor. You are done playing slow, methodical half-court sets. You are suddenly trapped in a grueling, non-stop sprint. Inside this gold rush economy, you essentially face a stark binary choice. You can dig in your heels, whine about your shot count, and watch your career dissolve into nothingness. Or you can accept the cold, hard math of the moment, overhaul your entire physiology, hitch your wagon to the superstar, and secure generational fortune. At this very moment, while the bulk of the players' AGM union is pleading with billionaire owners for a bigger slice of the financial pie, two Indiana Fever teammates have quietly pulled off the shrewdest survival maneuver in league history. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull aren't waiting around for a collective bargaining agreement to rescue them. They are actively reshaping their physiques, sending a loud message to management, and stacking equity like hedge fund managers. Let's dive into the analysis. We are peeling back the layers on the smart money moves in the Clark era, showing how role players are building kingdoms while others fight for crumbs. To grasp the sheer magnitude of the bodily tax the Clark system levies, look no further than the extreme metamorphosis Sophie Cunningham voluntarily underwent this past winter. Across 6 solid seasons, Cunningham carved out a fearsome niche for herself. She was the muscle. She was the one who set the tone. She was the one eating hard fouls, crashing into the paint, and serving as the physical bodyguard whenever vets tried to haze the Fever's rookie sensation. Weighing in at 165 pounds, she had the bulk to set brick wall screens and endure the grind of old-school ball. However, Cunningham possesses a high basketball IQ, and she spotted a dangerous truth. In Clark's fast-paced world, being a heavy, stationary brawler is a one-way ticket to the bench. Check out this jaw-dropping update regarding the radical body re-engineering Cunningham executed to guarantee her spot in this championship run. While rehabbing a season-ending knee injury, she dropped a bombshell about her off-season regimen. Formerly listed at 165, she revealed she is now tipping the scales at just 148.5. She slashed her weight from 165 all the way down to under 149. That is a shedding of nearly 16 pounds, a massive percentage for an elite athlete already in peak form. You need to comprehend the tactical genius driving this drastic cut. She is currently bouncing back from a torn medial collateral ligament. Trying to rehab a serious knee issue while gearing up for the league's fastest offense means carrying extra pounds is a structural liability. Every single ounce of unnecessary mass multiplies the torque on that joint when you slam on the brakes. Cunningham ran the numbers and realized she had to become lean and aerodynamic just to survive the grind. Yet, this slimming down isn't solely about protecting her knees. It is a mandatory adaptation for sprinting up and down the court. Clark's visionary passing shreds defenses before they can even settle into a formation. If you play wing for Indiana and bolt down court the split second a rebound is grabbed, you are virtually promised a 50-foot laser beam landing right in your hands for an easy layup or corner 3. The catch is, you have to have the wheels to outrun your shadow. Here is the raw, strategic breakdown of why Sophie Cunningham traded her Enforcer badge to become a high-velocity transition missile. It's a calculated decision to slim down, and the motivation is purely fueled by keeping up with Caitlin Clark. Clark has completely transformed her physique. She ditched the bulk, shedding that action hero muscle mass she was carrying. She has returned to that lethal collegiate frame the Iowa build. And that signals one thing. She plans to sprint the floor like an Olympic track athlete. Sophie Cunningham studied the game tape from the previous season with intense scrutiny. She watched Clark stripping away the heavy armor to become leaner, gearing up to accelerate the transition game to a pace that will break people's lungs. Cunningham recalled the cautionary tale of Aaliyah Boston during the early days of her second year. Boston arrived at camp carrying extra weight, conditioned for a bruising, slow-motion style of play in the paint. The result was a brutal opening month where she was visibly gasping for air, desperately trying to chase the chaotic speed of her rookie point guard. It wasn't until Boston completely overhauled her cardiovascular conditioning that she could actually function effectively within the system. Cunningham is smart enough to skip that painful learning curve. She has already shredded the excess pounds. She has fine-tuned her aerobic engine to maximum efficiency. Now she heads back to the Indiana Fever as an agile, long-range sniper who drained 43% of her attempts from deep last season. She is guaranteeing that when Clark launches a full-court dime, she will be the first one parked in the corner. But physical readiness is just one piece of the puzzle in Indianapolis. The other massive hurdle is navigating the dangerous, incredibly unstable internal politics and coaching shifts that threaten to sabotage the franchise from the inside out. Management brought in Stephanie White as the head coach, a variable that instantly complicates the team's offensive DNA. White is an old-school loyalist with deep roots among the veteran players, specifically maintaining a strong bond with Kelsey Mitchell. There is a genuine, terrifying fear that White might try to force a rigid, seniority-based rotation that favors isolation plays over the high-speed, space and pace chaos that fuels their superstar. And this is precisely where Lexi Hull emerges as the most pivotal, hotly contested variable in their championship aspirations. Hull is the textbook definition of the modern wing player. She doesn't need to dominate the ball to be effective. She has zero ego about touches. She plays suffocating defense and spaces the floor with reliable, high-percentage shooting. When you put Hull on the court with the other sharpshooters, the spacing becomes a mathematical nightmare for defenses to cover. Yet, coaches have a bad habit of overcomplicating simple solutions. Just listen to the aggressive, absolutely necessary warning shots being fired at Stephanie White regarding the lineup. Let me make this crystal clear. Sidebar for the coach. Lexi Hull needs to be in that starting five. There is no other option. Do not repeat the mistakes of the past by burying talent on the bench. Hull is a non-negotiable starter for this squad. This isn't just chatter from the bleachers, it is a strategic necessity. If the new coach tries to play favorites and benches Hull for a slower, ball-dominant veteran who clogs the paint, she will instantly cause the entire offensive system to seize up and fail. You do not drop a Formula One engine into a rusted-out sedan with flat tires. You surround a generational talent with athletic runners who defend hard and sprint even harder. Lexi Hull showed her hand during the latter half of the previous season, proving she is indispensable. Her durability, her defensive grit, and her perfect fit with the core held the team together when injuries were tearing the roster apart. If the staff ignores this obvious reality to soothe veteran feelings, it is borderline professional malpractice. But while the pundits and fans argue over minutes and labor agreements, Lexi Hull is quietly pulling off the savviest business move of the entire offseason. Typically, role players in this league live and die by their paycheck. They aren't signing nine-figure sneaker deals with the Giants. They aren't starring in national commercials for sports drinks or insurance. They scrap for every dollar. But Hull identified a massive, unexploited gap in the creator economy, and she is leveraging it to build serious wealth. Pay attention to this groundbreaking revelation regarding. Let's dissect Lexi Hull's latest power move and how it serves as the ultimate case study for the financial tidal wave known as the Caitlin Clark halo effect. While everyone else was resting, Hull spent the off-season leveling up her personal brand, a direct byproduct of the Clark phenomenon. The evidence is undeniable. Just look at Sophie Cunningham landing national spots with Nash and Arby's. Now, Lexi is stepping into the ring with the launch of Fora, her own direct-to-consumer makeup line engineered specifically for elite athletes. We need to analyze the sheer brilliance of this business strategy right now. In the cutthroat world of commerce, starting a brand like this is usually a suicide mission because the price tag for acquiring customers online is astronomical. You typically have to burn through millions of dollars on Meta and Instagram campaigns just to get eyeballs on your goods. Yet Lexi Hull hasn't needed to drop a single penny on promotion. How is that even possible? It is because she shares the floor with the single most powerful marketing engine women's basketball has ever seen, cementing herself as a key piece of the Tres Leches squad alongside Clark. Lexi Hull is banking millions of unpaid, high-quality impressions every single moment she steps onto the hardwood, struts down the tunnel, or shares a clip on her social feeds. The Indiana Fever following isn't just big. It is a massive, ride-or-die army that fiercely backs anyone who has their superstars back. Hull is smart. She is skipping the corporate middleman entirely to siphon that flood of attention, trailing Caitlin Clark straight into her own bank account. You are looking at the textbook definition of the corporate halo effect in action. Clark generates the traffic, and her savvy teammates position their personal ventures to catch the inevitable economic spillover. This is exactly what adapting and surviving looks like in the new age of pro athletics. Meanwhile, the athletes gripping onto the past, refusing to evolve their game and harboring bitterness toward this new wave are going to find themselves unemployed and out of the league within 3 years. Their roster spots will be taken by hungry, faster talent who actually understand the business landscape. On the flip side, players like Cunningham and Hull have locked in their longevity. They trimmed down, sharpened their three-point arsenal, and adapted. They acted as bodyguards for their franchise icon when things got physical. Most importantly, they built profitable empires on the side, choosing to cash in on the Caitlin Clark economy rather than fighting against it. I need to hear your raw, unfiltered perspective on this massive strategic shift. Is Sophie Cunningham's shocking physical transformation the necessary evolution to thrive in a fast-paced system? Or is she gambling away her edge as the team's muscle? Do you believe Coach Stephanie White has no choice but to put Lexi Hull in the starting five to open up the floor? Or will internal locker room dynamics force a compromise on the rotation? Ultimately, is Hull's cosmetics venture proof that intelligent role players can generate generational wealth just by riding the coattails of a legend? Leave your most critical, no-holds-barred thoughts in the comments section right now. If you crave the hard truth about the industry, the actual game plans, and the ruthless politics defining professional sports, you need to smash that subscribe button, destroy the like, and ring the bell so you are always in the loop. We don't waste time with mainstream media sugarcoating here. We uncover the leverage, track the money, and show you the cold, hard math behind the PR statements. Catch you on the next deep dive.